Okay. So as you guys know, or I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am actually suffer from something called morbid obesity, and because of that, people will constantly send me videos about fat people and expect me to weigh in on it, and I tend to weigh in pretty heavily on them. So this is a video from Megan Ann about Gabriella Lascano, Italian person, of course, confusing name, told the truth and fat activists got mad. So apparently this individual is like a TikToker, and she's like a fat positivity person, and she says something about how being that it's bad. So let's watch it. Let's see what let's see what we got here.
Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel.
Oh,
if
you're
you're
so
new here,
low.
hello. If you are returning, welcome back. Thank you so much for sticking around. I really appreciate you. So today's video is a follow-up to my last video about very popular body positivity influencer, plus-size model, Gabriella Lascano, kind of coming out.
I mean, I'm looking at her page. Not bad. Is she really a fat positive? She's only got 34,000 like followers, though. She looks nice, though. I mean, I'm married, so, you know. But she looks nice. Okay, but I expected her to be a much larger content creator, unless she's not a content creator from TikTok or something. But okay.
Publicly and basically shutting down fat acceptance rhetoric. I made that video and I was like,
oh
okay,
yeah, she's got 422,000 Instagram followers. Okay, this makes a lot more sense now.
I'm done with this topic now. But then somebody commented on it saying you should do a video on the reactions she's getting. And I was like, this sounds like a whole rabbit hole that it can go down. And I did. So I wanted to show some of the most like notable reactions I saw from people and then just kind of talk about it, because I think this is like a prime example of what happens when somebody tries to leave like the body positivity fat acceptance sphere because they no longer really align with what it stands for.
Yeah, that's gonna be like any sphere. You're gonna get like a lot of toxic feedback if you try to disengage from it. So
and yeah, so I thought it would be really interesting. If you have not seen the original video, I will play it here really quickly.
Nice.
I'm gonna say something controversial and I don't care. I don't care
Ooh.
how trendy or cute or fun it seems to be fat.
Yeah, it's not that much fun. You know, gotta go to doctors like every 3 months.
Don't let that shit fuck with your head. Don't let the idea that, oh, I could catch a dick no matter how big I am,
You could, especially for women, you know, but
cause you to forget about your health and to keep gaining weight.
yeah,
I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement, and I know it's not my fault or my responsibility to keep other people's health, but being a pioneer in this game, like I literally was one of the first influencers to work with Fashion Nova before they even had a plus size line. So when I say I'm a pioneer, I'm a pioneer. I'm one of the main reasons why we have the plus size fashion industry that we have, and you can argue with anybody, that's the truth. And
I have no idea who you are. Maybe that's true, but you know.
my point is that I see a lot of fat girls who gain a lot of weight from being caught up in this movement and turning around 5, 6, 7 years later talking about, damn, I let my health go to shit. I got this problem now. I'm 400 pounds. I can't do this. I can't do that.
I've never heard that before, but it makes sense that she would experience that because she's in the industry, right? That makes sense. So she's inside the industry, so she's probably seeing fat positivity models that are gaining weight because now it's part of your job, and now you're kind of like a little bit, taken hold of by the movement. I will say, like, the fat positivity movement fundamentally is not a bad thing. Like a lot of things, it goes a little too far, but mostly for the average person that's not terminally online, being fat positive is just about like not bullying fat people for the like the nature of their existence, and like trying to love yourself so that like if you love yourself more, it motivates you more to like lose weight and get healthier. That's what it's about. It's about like not feeling like shit just because you're fat, not being depressed, you know, being able to like work on yourself and trying to lose weight. You know, I would say go to the doctor regularly, probably every year, depending on your age. And if they say you have a clean bill of health, that's good. And you should, if you're overweight, you should still like take reasonable steps to get like make healthier steps, which will cause you to lose weight, but focus more on the health than the weight loss. You know what I mean? But overall, you should always work towards losing weight. But if you're healthy, you know, you don't have to go crazy and like, oh my God, I got a crash diet, because crash dieting is really bad for you. So yeah, sure.
Babe, it's not all it's cracked up to be. Being attractive, being able to still wear nice clothes is not the end all be all. You got to really think about your health. True. Because when you're in your 20s, you think that life is just rainbows and candy. You don't even think about the future.
True.
But when
She's 100% right. You get I think that for men, it comes faster than women. Men 25, women 28. Your body's going to start going down the shitter. I don't know what it is, but like overweight men tend to be less healthy than overweight women. That's my understanding, is like the way that fat deposits for men is like different, and it actually hurts men more. Let me tell you, 25. Okay, you want, like, even if you're reading healthy, like I was saying, always try to reasonably lose weight. You don't have to go crazy and crash diet. You don't have to lose a pound a week, but try to eat better. You know, put some like vegetables in every one of your meals, little micronutrient dense foods, fiberistic green leafy vegetables. Go for a walk, and you know you shouldn't be. You should be happy with yourself, but you should always feel motivated to change.
You start creeping up in age, babes, it's gonna catch up to you. I don't care what nobody say. I'm not saying that every fat person is unhealthy. Hello, I'm fat. I'm not claiming that you gotta hate fat people. That's literally the opposite of what I'm saying. But let's be fucking for real. Health is real. Organs failing is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that shit is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health. And if nobody else wants to say it, let me fucking tell you the truth. Love yourself at any size. Wear the clothes you want to wear, but don't forget that your heart has to beat, babes. Don't forget that your blood sugar has to keep a balance, babe. No amount of Instagram pictures looking cute and being an influencer wearing a size whatever you are is gonna stop your heart from not beating if you eating bacon every day. And this is coming from someone who's learning those lessons now, myself. So to the younger girls, the younger generation, take care of your health. It's not fat phobic to take care of your health. It's not a joke. And I'm saying this out of love, not out of self-hate. I see a lot of my fellow content creator, fellow plus size, fellow bloggers, whatever you want to call them, plus size models, now talking about wanting to get healthy, now talking about needing to da-da-da-da. Because 5, 6, 7 years ago, when they were 22, when they were 21, 25, it wasn't a problem. Now you're 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, whatever the case is, and you're like, damn, I can't get pregnant. I have this problem. I got that problem. The problems creep up, babe. And the reality is, loving yourself also includes taking care of your body. If you want this body to last 100 years, you got to take care of it. So don't let nobody else convince you that taking care of your health is fat phobic. And if somebody's telling you that, it's because they're miserable and they want you to die and stay fat like them. I took a lot of heat when I started talking about my weight loss journey, and now everybody else suddenly want to talk about it. I wonder why.
Yeah, I mean, nothing she said was wrong. There's literally nothing that's wrong with anything. Like, she's 100% correct. There's like, honestly, you know, like the message is like, love your body, but you should always try to be healthier. That's pretty much what she's saying here. She's not wrong at all. Like, based. That's body positivity. Fat positivity is about accepting yourself for being fat and still trying to better yourself and lose weight. That's what it's supposed to be about. Thank you so much for the small god, brother. That's what it's supposed to be about. And that's the best message. It's okay to be overweight. It's really okay. If you're like fat and you're overweight, like, it's okay. Like, you're still a valid person. There's 1,000 other parts of you. You don't have to just be fat as your primary identity, but you should make reasonable steps to being healthy, not skinny, healthy. The weight loss will come with the health, but you want to be healthy, because if you focus on being skinny, that's when crash dieting happens. That's when you have better relationships with food. Focus on getting healthy. You'll slowly lose weight. You don't have to lose it quickly. You don't have to track your calories. It does help. You know, eat somewhat consistently the same foods, because there's a thermogenic effect based on like the amount of carbs, fats, proteins, and whatnot. But like, eat decent foods, drink more water, go for that 20-minute walk every day. Eat that broccoli with every meal. You know, have a banana before you have your ice cream, maybe it'll quell your ice cream flavors. You know what I mean? That's what you got to do.
You're unfamiliar with me, I had weight loss surgery about 4 years
ago.
Oh,
she took the easy path. I'm just busting chops.
And it'll be 5 in September. I've lost and maintained the loss of 100 pounds. And I was very much like in the body positivity realm. Like, I consumed a bunch of that content, like all that kind of stuff. And I really do think it affected me very negatively growing up. And so that's like why I talk about these things on my channel. So let's just play a couple of the clips here. And I will.
I mean, part of the body positivity thing for women is like a little bit more of a cope, because women experience like tremendously more backlash or negativity for their weight than men do. It's just a fact. When you look at a woman, women tend to be more valued in society based on the way they look versus men, which do get valued for that as well. But like, as a man, people focus more on like your accomplishments, whereas with women, they focus more on like, you know, how attractive you are. So this is why women are you know, they go into the body positivity movement, and it makes sense. It just goes too far. Like, it's not good to be fat. It's just okay to be fat, and you should make progress, you know?
Report back.
I don't even like to make videos anymore, but I have to say something about this, because I have some own opinions on this.
Listen, all I'm going to say, first of all, you're attractive. Second of all, if you're fat and you're doing videos from this angle, you've already lost the game. I don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? If you're using, let me explain something to you. All right, this is called the Decepticon angle. When you push your head out a little bit and then you take a picture from the top, why are you hiding it? Why are you hiding it, bro? You know, what are you doing?
As a fat person myself, why are you mad that there are more fat influencers? grew up not having any, us, the people that are in our 20s, grew up not having any. Tumblr promoted very much pro-ana bullshit. And there are ways we can censor that now, because there are more fat creators that people can go to look for it. I don't think that y'all really care about other people's health.
No, it's easy to find them. Sorry. That's inappropriate.
It's because y'all don't talk about skinny people. Y'all don't talk about, y'all don't.
No, but we do. And this is what you have to understand. We do talk about skinny people. The entire modeling industry had an overhaul because people were so skinny they were anorexic, and it got called out as part of the body positivity movement, which is a good thing. Being too skinny is unhealthy. Being too fat is unhealthy. We called out the too skinny. Now the too fat is going a little too far. So you're actually wrong about that. Is it proportionally the same? No. But still, you're not correct. You're just incorrect.
Your mindset, you don't have disabled people in your mind. You don't have people that have medical issues. You don't have people.
Most people don't have any medical issues or disabilities that get in the way of them being overweight. And some people do, for sure, and it's an additional struggle. But you're probably not one of them. I'm not one of them. Okay, people are just, and it's not even just laziness. The most I weighed was 380 when I was working 60 hours a week. I would eat comfort food. I was stressed. I had a miserable life, Excuse me. Part of it's laziness, part of it's a sedentary lifestyle, part of it's stress, part of it's emotion, but it's still, you want to better yourself.
That were born that way. My uncle was born big bone. That always been big, always. I gain weight.
Big bone is a thing, but it doesn't. But if you have heart disease, your bones don't matter. Okay.
Because of.
And it's a big frame, but
medicines I'm on, and because I have a autoimmune disease, and I can't work out. And buying healthy food is not always cheap. You
can work out. Listen, autoimmune disease can be rough. I know a lot of people with them. I dated somebody with them. Some people in their lives will use their autoimmune disease or use the particular disability they have as an excuse to not better themselves. I'm not going to get into the specifics, but it's the truth. You can still get up and you can go for a walk, okay? And not for nothing, and I'm really not trying to be rude, but if you're obese and you have an autoimmune disease, you're doing a disservice to yourself. Because if you have something that's like fibromyalgia or something that's putting significant stress on your body, losing weight will help that. Once you've decided, I can't do that, yes, you can. You can do it. You can get up and you can move. And if you can't, then you should eat less. And you should eat better. You don't need, if you're overweight and you're eating a lot, and you're complaining about money, I'm not trying to be rude, but just have half the Taco Bell. I'm fucking fat, and part of that's because of eating shitty food. But if you're fucking fat and you're I don't have the money to eat healthy, so just eat unhealthy less. You know what I mean? It's not easy, but it's the truth. It's just it's too many excuses, bro. You're making excuses, and when you make excuses, you remove control from your own life. And that's when you've already lost. You've decided that you're not going to better yourself.
Groceries in general right now is not to you. Are you going to buy people's vegan groceries? And you're
you don't need to be vegan, and being vegan isn't really ideal healthy anyway. Healthier than eating only meat, but you have to get supplements for that. Eat a balanced diet. I don't know what to tell you.
Bragging about being one of the first pioneer fat women to work in the fashion industry. Fashion Nova is notorious for stealing ideas from small businesses and other creators, but okay, go off. I don't think it's wrong for fat women to have this mindset of I can get anybody no matter what I look like, because that's a good mindset to have. Because
that's fine. That's fine. It's just that it's the not focusing on losing weight is what she's talking about.
Looks shouldn't matter. And yeah, you're talking about health, but you're literally saying it's all fun and cute.
Yeah, eating healthy can be a little expensive, but if you look, she has Squishmallows all over her bed, so it's she has the money. She's just complaining. She has a poor priority of her stuff. That'd be if I complained about not having enough money and you see a fucking wall cascading of Funko Pops behind me. What kind of an asshole am I?
Cute to be fat. When is it ever fun to be fat? When? It's never fun to be the fat friend. Dating as a fat person is hard. Medical doctors blame everything on your weight. Public seating isn't good for you.
Sometimes doctors will blame too much on your weight. I talk about this story. For one, I've gone to doctors who, when you go in there, they constantly obsess about your weight. My doctor now, when I go in, this is how it should work. This is your blood work. This is the medication that you need. We're going to do this. You should lose weight and you should exercise more. It'll help you. Okay, totally fine. But there are doctors who harass you when you walk in. Oh, why didn't you lose weight? I told you to lose 5 pounds. Why didn't you lose? I'm 32 years old. I'm not going to deal with that. I'm a grown fucking man. Yeah, I know I need to lose weight. And I like when my doctor says, hey, you should lose weight. It's a good reminder. But when you just constantly be you're a fucking annoying asshole, it doesn't make me want to lose weight. It makes me not want to go back to the doctor. There's that. And then my wife had an issue. She has psoriasis, and she went in because she had a psoriasis breakout. And the doctor this is what the doctor said: you don't have psoriasis, you're just fat. They didn't say oh, hey, you being overweight is contributing to your psoriasis, which is probably true. I have eczema. I mean, when I eat poorly, my eczema gets worse. It's true. But saying that you just don't have a thing because you're fat, that's a problem. But that doesn't take away from the message the other girl talked about. You don't have to do it. You don't have to, it's not a light switch. There's no, yes, it's a dimmer switch. Okay. There's a happy medium for body positivity that we're not hitting.
You were always like the fucking joke. There's so much fat phobia in media. And honestly, this feels like internalized fat phobia, and you're just projecting yourself and your insecurities onto other girls.
Well, you have enough time to scroll through TikTok and like understand the annoying SJW language. Maybe you should get a little bit more time just like walking around the house a little bit. I'm not trying to be fucking rude. I'm just saying, stop making excuses for your weight. You're the only person that can control your weight. My poor eating habits come from my upbringing. I'm going to be real with you. I used to be very active as a kid, but like it comes from my upbringing, right? But like you get to an age where you can't blame mommy and daddy for everything anymore, guys. Like, that my mom or dad didn't teach me this or this. At a certain point, it's your own fucking responsibility to teach yourself how to lose weight or get exercise. Because for all the bad things your parents might have done to you, there's a ton of other good things. You take the good with the bad. You shut the fuck up. It's your own problem now. Deal with your own shit. You have to get there. You can't stop blaming everybody else. When you blame everybody else for your problems, that's when your problem never goes away, because you've decided that you have no control over it, even when you do, and you're going to become a failure. That's a loser mentality. It's a victim mentality. You can't be engaging in that kind of shit. It's toxic for yourself.
People aren't going out of the way to become fat influencers. They're fat and are influencers.
Okay, so with that one, first things first, she's not mad that there's more fat influencers. Gabriella herself is still a fat influencer, and she said that. I think she's just more so angry that, like, nobody talks about the negative effects of being fat, and that, like,
people do. They just happen to be people who are fat phobic usually. I haven't seen like really a single person in good faith talking about fat people in like a way where it's like, yeah, you should lose weight, but you shouldn't be bullied. Right? This girl is just like actually playing like a solid ground. Like she has like a good perspective on it.
Are more than likely going to be more negative side effects down the line, and nobody talks about that. And we don't talk about skinny people.
Plus, if we're going to talk about how expenses, it's cheaper to eat healthy and not have to take medication and insulin. So let's be real.
A lot, because I feel like it's been more widely just accepted that it is unhealthy to be super thin, whereas like it's almost tiptoed around to talk about how unhealthy it is to be super morbidly obese. And I think that's
no, it's not. Not really. Let's not pretend that it's been tipped. Like in some circles, sure. Like, but for the most part, we still dunk on fat people. It's pretty based, you know.
Very interesting, and I don't really know why that is, but yeah. And I don't think Gabriella was trying to exclude disabled people or people with medical conditions or whatever. She was talking about her own experience, which is allowed, and that's what she was doing. And also, in my personal opinion, I don't believe anyone's born super morbidly obese. I certainly was not. I do have
nobody is, unless the fucking parents were eating so much and somehow the baby like got really fat.
A bigger frame, like that's been established. And I've always found the topic of food price comparisons really interesting, and I always did kind of agree with that, because for a point there, healthier foods were more expensive. But now a carton of eggs is $7.
Oh, bro, carton of eggs are going up in price. Let's not even go there. How old is this video? No, carton of eggs is like $10 now. I wouldn't go with the eggs. Okay, personally, I wouldn't go with the eggs. Eat less food. Eat the same unhealthy food, just a little bit less of it. Okay, there you go.
And a McDonald's meal is like.
But the thing is that like. But McDonald's is probably generally cost effective, kind of. The problem is people aren't. The problem is it's not like people are going out and eating off the dollar menu, which doesn't really even exist anymore. People are going out and eating like meals, like gross meals that cost you like $10 or $15 a person, and then complaining that it's too expensive to cook a $10 meal. And it's like you're already getting that at McDonald's. You just don't want to have to turn the oven on, or you just don't want to have to just microwave something, like, which is still probably not super healthy. But like you're using money as a virtue signal.
10. So it's like really starting to kind of even out. Honestly, if you're trying to save money, the carton of eggs would be a better option because it'll feed you longer. But
yeah, egg prices rose 60% in 2022. I'm just letting you know that, okay? I'm just to the eggs point. It's true. I was talking about this today with my mother. I mean, excuse me, my wife. About my mother-in-law because she wants to buy a chicken.
Yeah, I think it's still a very interesting topic. And nobody, including Gabriella, has ever said that it's a bad thing. At least reasonable-minded people have ever said that it's a bad thing for fat people to be like, I can get whoever I want. Having self-confidence is never a bad thing.
No, she's saying more of just don't overly focus on that and gain weight.
Regardless of what size you are. That's not the point of this video.
So, I already left a comment about this, and I wasn't going to say anything else because my moods are already gathering her.
How do you feel about Gabriella? Who are these people that are talking about this stuff?
But I gotta say something. Like, I really tend to...
Not bad looking.
Sit back and mind my business. I'm not minding my business because it's people like her that genuinely make my ass itch to the 10th degree.
Wow.
Y'all only ever want to have conversations about health and wellness when it comes to fat people.
Okay. I'm trying to think about like when else would you have the genuinely, like when else would you have the conversation about health and wellness, you know, like when it comes to preventing being fat. Like you shouldn't be fat, you shouldn't be too skinny either, but like, okay, it's okay to be a little overweight. It's like, it's fine as long as go to your doctor. I said it before, go to your doctor, get your levels checked, always work on trying to like make yourself more healthy. But like generally speaking, like, you know, there really is nothing that it communicates unhealthiness more than being overweight. And I don't think that everybody needs to jump in and pile on. But I'm just saying, like, when else would we talk about it, especially when we do have a narrative that it maybe in some capacity, in some ways, normalizes being overweight.
Let me say that one more time. Y'all only ever want to have conversations about health.
But what, if you don't mind me asking, what are you currently doing to lose weight as somebody who's trying to? Yeah, so for right now, my wife is really into trying to cook and eat from home. It's one big thing that we do. We're actually trying not to eat. This sounds crazy. We're trying not to eat too healthy. That sounds weird, but sometimes we set ourselves up for eating too healthy, and then we don't want to eat the food because we hate it. So like my wife, instead of making like a grilled chicken, my wife made like a beef stew with like potatoes and celery and onions and mushrooms and like carrots and stuff like that, right? It's not super healthy. It's still a little fatty, but we eat it, right? Instead of going out to McDonald's. We've been trying to go on a walk every single day. We're actually going to go tonight. We go to the gym. We walk together for 10 minutes. I go and I do a little bit of weights. She continues to walk. She gets about a half hour walking in. I do 10 minutes of cardio, 20 minutes of weights. You know, I try to drink more water. Gives me less acid reflux. It's little steps. We're not going super duper crazy, you know, because I feel like we like go for that 20-minute walk a day. You know what I mean? Like start small. Start small. You know? Yeah, beef stew is probably decently healthy, but you get my point. Like we're not being like, if we feel like having something a little bad, we'll have chicken tenders from Costco instead of going out and getting like fucking Papa John's, you know, because it might not be ideal, but it's still healthier comparatively, and we'll eat it. You know, like let's say we want to have like a little dessert. We got some cereal now, but we have like those 100-calorie boxes of cereal. So I'll have like 100-calorie box of cereal with oat milk. We're just trying to make better choices, not perfect choices. That's what we're trying to do. That's my recommendation to you guys.
Health and wellness when it comes to fat people. Y'all are not addressing food deserts. Y'all not talking about how unaffordable healthcare is.
Sure, but like understand that like unaffordable healthcare doesn't like it's a reason why you shouldn't be overweight, you know. You're
not bringing up the fact that people with diabetes have to ration their insulin because they can't afford it.
Yeah, so if I take insulin, if you lose weight, you won't like. I think it's like 80 or 90% of people who are insulin dependent will be able to get off of that dependence if they lose weight.
Do you know how expensive asthma inhalers are?
Again, if you lose weight, you don't have to deal with these to the same degree.
Like, do you understand that people don't have access to basic resources? But y'all want to talk about health and wellness.
And I understand that if you're not getting treatment for your diabetes, it really like lowers your energy and it makes you not want to go out. But like again, if you're slamming down McDonald's, that's why you're on insulin for the most part. Okay, for the most part, unless you're like born with what's type 1 or whatever, I don't remember what it is. Go take a walk. It's free. I understand there's some high crime areas, but like, what do you want me to tell you? If you always have a reason why you can't get healthy, when I say here's a good option for you, then just sorry. Then just stay fat. Sorry, you're gonna end up dying. Like I don't know what to tell you. You know, internalize it. Go, here's my strategy I could do. I go to a gym with my wife because we like to do it because it's not cold out. Okay, maybe you can't afford the gym. Planet Fitness is $10. Take the walk. Walk outside. I don't know. Figure something out. You know, do something. There's something that you could do. Turn on the Zumba class channel. Got buy Wii Sports or Wii Fit. You know, I don't know. You know, you're going to have to figure it out yourself. At the end of the day, you probably can afford some of the basic stuff and you're just complaining about it. The people who are loudest about how they can't afford things are usually the people who can't afford things. I'm just being real with you, okay?
No, you don't. You want to bully fat people. Like, let's call a spade because fat people do it too. Y'all just enjoy bullying fat people.
Sometimes. I do watch 600 Pound Life or whatever, and I go, damn, what are you doing? It's true.
And a bitch like me, I'm not with the shits. Because it's quite obvious, diarrhea. Whomever this is, this Gabriella person, she thinks that she's different than the girl that got on here and slandered that model for being fat.
I don't know.
She thinks she's actually doing something, but nah, y'all two peas in the same pod, honey. Like, because y'all could only start talking about health and wellness when it comes to fat people. I do not care that she's fat. I don't care how many of her cronies want to sit here and be like, oh yeah, she just cares about people, she just wants people to be healthy. I don't care. All you have is opinion and a preconceived notion about what health is.
Yeah, but you're saying this to a fat person that was part of the body positivity movement. So you kind of lose a lot of your ammunition. You can't just like virtue signal the way you would to somebody who's never experienced this issue. They're just saying that body positivity is cool, but like still try to be healthy. That's all that person was saying, and you're having a meltdown. And you can't use these arguments about how like she's just trying to dunk on fat people, because she's not. Like, she's a woman in the body positive. She obviously found value in body positivity, and then realized that like it went too far.
I'm not moved. No mountains are moving over here. I don't care.
Thought this one was
You're setting us up for those fat jokes. Stop, please. All right.
really interesting, because like her main rebuttal was just immediately drawing a bunch of like false equivalencies to try and make her point when really they have nothing to do with anything. Like, yes, all of those things are very valid things to talk about in the medical system, very valid concerns, but just because
the systemic reasons behind why people are fat, for sure, definitely very positive. Like food deserts, there's health access, of course, like health insurance for sure, but lack of financial opportunity and all that. I get that, but still, at the end of the day,
all of those things exist does not mean
at the end of the day, it's one of those things where if you blame the system, like, we need to acknowledge the system and change it. Like, honestly, big issue, we're not teaching kids to walk at school. Like, bro, do gym class for walking. Like, if kids don't want to do sports, have them walk for a half hour in their class. Like, really, make them walk. It's actually really good. Teach them how to cook in class, in school. That's what school's for. It should be, at least. These are issues, but at the end of the day, like, there's a difference between like focusing or bring attention to the negatives of the system versus like waiting for the system to change. Because a lot of people will be like, oh, we can't do anything because the system's broken. Oh, that's just their excuse to not do anything and trying to have somebody else do everything for them.
You shouldn't talk about other things that exist. It just seems like this person was trying to like distract from the point. That's what I got from it. And Gabriella wasn't bullying anybody.
I am.
She's just experiencing things now that she gets older that younger fat people aren't experiencing, and she's trying to kind of just issue a warning. At least that's what I saw, because that's what I've kind of been trying to do on my platform for the last few years. And I don't like the girl that she talks about. I'll insert that video.
Are you really gonna sit here and tell me obese people aren't as big as you think they are? Because when I look at this photo, what? I'm not saying that you have to look like the two women on the left, but there is something clearly wrong with the woman.
Obese people aren't as big as you think they are. I mean, they might just be referencing that the obesity scale on BMI isn't as big as you'd think it is. I don't think that they're literally saying obese people aren't big. I think that this is being charitable to that commenter. I think that they're just saying that like obesity on the BMI scale isn't as large as you think. And the standards are set pretty differently, I'm assuming.
On the right. Not saying that she's not worthy and deserving of love, because she is.
We were required to walk at least once a day in high school during gym. Oh, I never had that. It was like either sports or whatever. They should just do a walking class. You could do a walking class, but you couldn't keep taking it, which you should be able to.
It's unhealthy. She can hardly fit in her freaking shoes.
Jesus.
I am so confused. Why on earth would we promote people walking around and looking like this? It's not healthy. And it's honestly mean to say that someone is beautiful and all this stuff when it's like we're literally lying to them.
Well, no, it's not mean. It's more of like you're a beautiful person. And somebody will find that attractive, right? There's probably, frankly, this girl on the right would probably make more money on OnlyFans than these two, because like fucking men, they like to talk to the people who talk the loudest negatively about fat women are men who jerk off to fat women like fucking relentlessly. Let's be absolutely honest here. But like it's good to be like, you're beautiful, you're a good person, you deserve better. You should try to be healthy.
And making them think that it's okay to be that way when it's really not, because it's hurting their health and it's shortening their lives. If you really care about people, you tell them the truth.
I don't like.
Yeah, sure. The problem with that is that you don't care. Most people don't care. Like the random person on the street, like you don't mean anything to anybody. Okay, your friends, your family, people that are close to somebody who's overweight, if they notice that person's continuously eating poorly, they're the people that walk in and be like, hey, listen, we noticed you've been kind of unhealthy. That's totally fine. The random asshole on TikTok who's pretending to care about like your health, who really doesn't, and they just want to dunk on fat people, they don't matter. Like that's really, keep that in mind. Like if you don't know somebody, you don't need to weigh in on their. It wasn't even intentional. You don't need to weigh in on their weight. Okay.
The person that she talked about saying that she slandered somebody, but that wasn't slander. So I think it's funny when people misuse the word slander. I don't know why, I just think it's hilarious.
I just saw the video that everyone on body positive TikTok is talking about, and
I know this person. She's fucking so annoying.
I want to make a very quick point that anyone who talks about fatness being trendy or a trend or cool, Don't listen to them. They are not credible. Anyone who says that is honestly delusional, because look at how fat phobic and diet centric and just demonized fat people and fatness is in society.
Okay, sure. Yeah, they're not wrong. The problem is that they're not wrong about how there are definitely negative standards when it comes to looking at or observing fat people in society. But it's like we're open. It's like two waves crashing into each other. You have the wave of like let's just say like fat phobia, and then you have a counter wave of like fat acceptance, and they crash into each other over and over. The problem is that people like this person here, Splotchmaker, who has like horrendously bad takes on fat people, they're part of the echo chamber that's like everything about being fat is good when it's not. I believe this is one of the people who said that like dating a fat person is fat phobia, like just absolute like brain rot. Okay. They sit in this sphere where they get to a point where they start overly encouraging fatness, and then they end up crashing against that fat phobia wave. And somewhere in the middle is the reality. The most realistic people in any identity group is going to be the person with an identity that is not their primary identity. Okay, so let's say in the fat movement, somebody who is fat, but somebody who doesn't make their fatness their identity. This is a person who makes their fatness their identity. So they have to cope hard as fuck. They think that everything is because of their weight, and every time they have an observation in their society, it's weight related, and that's it. I'm a guy that happens to be fat, so I don't use my fatness as a victim complex. I just want to be better myself. There are times where I can notice that maybe people are being a little bit rude to me because I'm fat, but it's few and far in between. Is that the right way to say it? It goes for any group. It's the same thing for like BLM. Like black people have issues, like systemic racism issues. But when you overly focus on it, all of a sudden it becomes a victim complex, and you think everything's because you're black or everything's because you're gay. There are issues in these groups, but if you take it too far and you push to that victim aspect, like that's the toxic part of it. Like keep it, like it needs to be contextualized as part of your identity, but it shouldn't be your only identity. Like I think that's cringe. It's the same thing as it's anything. It's like literally the same thing with smokers, like people who smoke cigarettes and they like think they're cool. High school kids, yeah, I'm a cigarette smoker, like that. They're cringe. But like somebody who happens to smoke cigarettes, you're like, yeah, I don't like that, but whatever. It goes across everything. Same thing with gamers. Okay, you're nerds.
Saying it's a trend. Who is saying it's trendy? It's demonized everywhere. What's to look forward to? What's cool about it? What's trendy? Getting harassed on every single platform, every single day. Getting videos taken down, removed. I
will say one thing: fat women get harassed relentlessly. But also, if you make content about how it's poggers to be fat, you're going to get harassed more. So
from monetization, getting deplatformed entirely, getting videos taken down, removed from monetization, getting deplatformed entirely.
Never. You're never getting deplatformed for being fat. You're never getting videos demonetized for being fat. Social justice masturbatory porn on the internet is the most profitable thing in the world. If you're talking about how fucking awesome it is to be fat, you are not going to get demonetized. Maybe you should because it's unhealthy, but you are never going to have that problem. Okay, you're never going to get demonetized, okay? Get the fuck out of here.
Entirely because we posted a video that then people can post anytime they want, all the time. You know, getting medical neglect, being just outcasted in society and have your body be an epidemic. It is bullshit. So just don't listen to anyone who says that.
Of course, Splotchmaker had to make a video. I don't think being fat is trendy, but I do think it honestly has become more socially acceptable over time. I'm not saying that's a bad thing either, because representation is very—
It's trendy to jerk off to fat girls, so I'll be honest with you. We just don't talk about it. All right? I know that you motherfuckers, okay? Let me tell you something right here. Abba and Preach, because they dunk on fat girls sometimes. I know their browser history is full of fucking BBW porn, especially Abba. His dick he's gone from brown to red from how fucking much he's wringing out his hog. Okay? I know that's what you're looking at. That's the projection, bro. Oh, you know, I know what you're looking at, dude. We're looking at the same trends, okay? The people who dunk on fat people the most are always about to jerk it off to fat people, bro. It's true. It's true. They're just distancing themselves from their fetish, okay?
Very important. I think we also have to be honest.
It's like feeders that like to feed fat people. You think that they like fat girls? They hate them. They hate fat women, but they feed them. They're like, you're disgusting. I want to put my dick in your belly button. Like you're nasty. That's real. That's some real shit.
And also just absolutely not surprising that like a fat acceptance creator would just diminish someone else's experience right away without really listening to what they're trying to say. I feel like that happens often.
Here's the thing. I wasn't going to comment on this. So many people have already made fantastic videos and responses about this, but I
Probably not, but
did see a bunch of people ask me what my opinion was, that they wanted to hear my take, so I figured I'd make a video.
maybe you should just get to the point.
And I mean, up front, I think it was incredibly fat phobic and incredibly...
Whoa! Fat phobia, baby! My blood sugar is fat phobic, bro. It's actually, we have to cancel my blood sugar because it's ridiculous how it could just kill me slowly. And like, it shouldn't be able to do that. I should be able to eat whatever I want.
Responsible to make a video like that, considering what fat people, fat women have to go through on the daily to receive even a smidgen of human decency, and how they're always fighting to show that weight does not equate to health. But the reason I didn't initially...
But it does, right? But it doesn't equate to disrespect. Weight does equate to health. It just doesn't need to equate to disrespect. That's really what it comes down to.
Make a video is because I receive a lot of privilege as a mid-sized woman, and I didn't want to feel like I was talking over anyone else's voice. But then I thought it'd be a good idea to make a video asking you guys to tag other fat creators you've seen make videos about this and their takes on it, so we can elevate their voices. Yes, because this is
a good idea. Tag all the fat people in the description, and we can go and we can all bully them. I'm just kidding. Don't do that. That's terrible.
Real issue that they're dealing with. So tag them below.
I don't know who this person is, but she's beautiful and I love her eye makeup. But Gabriella's video was not fat phobic. She was literally just talking about her own.
I like the second girl the most personally, but you know.
Own lived experiences. Her whole point is that it's not fat phobic to care about your health, but it seems like people just totally missed that plot, I guess, which is like a running theme throughout all of these responses. Like I feel like people, and Gabriella's point just did not did not register. Because two things can be true at once. Fat people, and fat women in particular, can be treated very unfairly in society.
True.
But also being fat can be unhealthy. They're not mutually exclusive. Like both of those things can happen at the same time.
I've literally been seething with anger about...
Seething, raging, coming, shitting, farting. Those are the five food groups. It's true.
These two videos right here for the past 2-3 days. If there's ever a video of mine that scroll past...
It makes you that upset? I think that you have a bad relationship with social media if that makes you that upset.
Don't scroll past this one. So a couple days ago, Gabriella Lascano made a video that starts off like this.
I'm gonna say something controversial and I don't care. I don't care how trendy or cute or
is very
things to be fat.
To her again.
Don't let that shit fuck with your head.
Don't do it. Don't let that shit fuck with your head. Don't do it. Okay? Incredible.
Gabriella for a long time. She's a very prominent, popular plus-size creator, plus-size model.
Being a pioneer in this game, like I literally was one of the first influencers to work with Fashion Nova before they even had a plus-size line. So when I say I'm a pioneer, I'm a pioneer.
She is a pioneer in the fashion part of the body positive movement, but not the political part, and that's important.
I see a lot of fat
does not matter to me.
Girls who gained a lot of weight from being caught up in this movement.
Girl, I can say with 100% certainty that not a single person has been like, you know what? I want to gain weight because people on the internet make it seem super fun to be fat.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. That's not how I interpreted it. So first of all, okay, it's a weird thing to talk about. I don't think that most people who are over, this is like a really weird one. Like I said, I think she was referring to models that she knows in her real life that are fat models, like fat positivity models, and they feel incentivized to gain weight and not care because they're getting a lot of notoriety, they're getting a lot of fame, which are like the same thing, I guess, and they're making money off of being overweight, and it's giving them like a negative feedback loop or a positive feedback loop, but it's positive, like that's encouraging them to gain weight. I'm also sure that there are some people who, like the first girl that they brought up, who are using the fat positivity movement as an excuse to not try to get healthier. Like, there are negatives. I don't think it's fair to say that the overall fat positivity movement is encouraging people to be fat, but I will say that the toxic parts of it need to be called out or it'll turn into that.
But what that does is feed into this whole promoting obesity narrative that has been weaponized against us since the beginning as a way for people to say that they don't want to see fat people happy anywhere.
But the problem is that like if we don't acknowledge it in a reasonable mind, then people are just going to take it and say all of it's glorification. It's not. It is normalization to say like it's okay if you're fat because it's positive from a mental health perspective. To be positive and have a positive interaction with yourself and your body. You need that. That's not glorifying it, but fight that ground. Fight the ground. It's like it's not glorifying it because we're acknowledging fat people like exist and they should be not bullied. You know, Fight that battle. Don't fight the battle of like, don't criticize it at all or it looks bad, you know?
Gabriella, are you telling me that in your time of being a fat content creator in all of these years that you have never seen people comment on your photos on your account that you're promoting obesity just by existing and taking photos? Have you forgotten? That was the whole barrier that you...
Do you think she's forgotten? It's kind of a silly question. I doubt that she lives that. She probably doesn't live it down.
Claim to be a pioneer in breaking, and now you want to build that wall back up.
I actually feel kind of guilty for being a part of this movement, and I know it's not my fault or my responsibility to keep other people's health.
What you're seeing is not an increase of fat people, it's an increase of fat representation. But it's giving like, I did what I wanted to do, I made my money, I made my bag, I built my platform, and now I'm chilling. And
I don't think that, I think it's unreasonable to call everybody a grifter just because you disagree with them, which is what's happening here. I doubt that she's grifting. I think that she's just like had a realization about the part of like the content that she engaged in. It's the same thing for me, man. When I was on TikTok making like edgy videos, dunking on people like SJWs and shit, I realized that I was having fun and I thought people were too, but people were actually being bigoted based off my jokes. And it's why I don't feel comfortable making them anymore. And like I've gravitated away from making them. Because, like, even the other day, I made, like, a little bit of a joke, which is fine when I'm on a YouTube video that's, like, a half an hour long, making, like, a silly little joke. So everybody knows I'm kidding. But then I clipped it and I put it up on, like, social media. I'm like, I don't like this. Like, I just don't like, I don't like just the dunk clip because everybody thinks that, like, it's actually me trying to be fucking bigoted. It's just, like, it's a joke to me. But when you have no context around it, everybody will interpret it differently. And I just don't like the idea of that. That's what it's more about.
And that is the reason why the plus size community has to stop looking to models and influencers to be thought leaders in this space. Because 9 times out of 10, they just want a bag. Not all, but a lot of them, they just wanted us to help them bring down the barriers so that they could make the money. A lot of them don't understand the politics that allowed them to get to where they are, and it shows. So throughout the video, she talks about health, health, health. We should not moralize health. But aside from that...
Yes, we should moralize health. The fuck are you talking about? What? What are you talking about?
You cannot generalize or speculate the habits of fat people or thin people. You
can do that. You actually can do it. You shouldn't tell them to their face, but you can do that. I think it's pretty fair to say that Paprika doesn't eat the healthiest, right? Because not a hot take, okay?
In this space long enough to know that's not true. You have been in this space through the beginning of HAES or HAES. You've been in this space during the time where like we had all the plus size influencers in their sportswear proving that they go to the gym, showing what they eat in a day, whatever. You have been in that space long enough to see all those things.
Sure, but like most people who are overweight are not going to the gym every day. And just because you wear sportswear doesn't mean you're going to the gym. Like if you're an overweight person and you are going to the gym daily, there's an exceptionally higher chance that you're healthier compared to somebody who's of equal size. Like if you're 300 pounds, but you're like going to the gym and you're like walking half an hour every day and like stuff, like you're probably going to be healthier because you're going to have better heart health. Your body's going to be moving around. Even if you're overweight because you're eating too much, you're going to be healthier, of course. But most fat people are not doing that. It is a rare case for somebody to be like really into exercise and still maintain a very heavy weight. Okay, so.
If you have fat friends and you have thin friends, you know.
Yeah, we have had a rising obesity rate for a long time. It's not like it's a very small amount of that would have to do with body positivity. Most of it has to do with systemic issues, like they were talking about before, like the FDA not monitoring food correctly and shit like that. The access of like addictive sugars and addictive preservatives and shit like that. So.
That people live their lives identically, but will have different body parts.
Organs failing is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that shit is real, okay?
There's literally no health issue that is exclusive to fat people.
No, but but just the way that she presented it is so morbidly dishonest. Oh, there's no health issue exclusive to fat people. Sure. That's like saying that you can't, that like you fucking... That's like if somebody has AIDS and they're like, yeah, but it has nothing to do with me fucking 50 guys or 50 girls, right? Because you can technically get AIDS with having one sexual partner. Yeah, but the risk goes up pretty tremendously when you have more sexual partners. So it's like the risk of health problems goes up tremendously if you're overweight. It's not helpful. It's a comorbidity. I don't know, is that the word you'd use for it? It's a big factor. It's a tremendously large factor.
Nobody's saying that these health issues don't exist, but they are not exclusive to fat people.
I don't really think about your health, because when you're in your 20s, you think that life is just rainbows and candy. You don't even think about the future.
True.
But when you start creeping up in age, babes, it's gonna catch up to you. I don't care what nobody say.
Literally nothing that you're saying is exclusive to fat people, so why are you addressing us specifically? So let's be honest.
You have a higher chance of having these problems if you're fat.
It's gone too far because there are people fatter than you who you've automatically deemed to be more unhealthy, and you want to draw your little line in the sand.
No, you stupid asshole. What she's saying is that she probably has health problems, and now she's realizing it because she's getting older. That's what she's saying. Like, I understand what she's saying because I have health problems and they started to happen really quickly as I got older. That is going to be very commonplace for you when you're like fucking 18, 20-year-old, 22-year-old person and you're like, I'm fat, but I'm healthy. Who cares? Your body's going to jump down a fucking toilet by 30. Okay, and you're supposed to live till like 80. So motherfucker, you're going to be living for more than half of your life miserable as shit. Maybe even half your life because you're lowering your life expectancy. It's not that fucking deep. Like you're overcomplicating it because you probably haven't experienced health problems due to your weight yet. And if you have, you're just lying. And like you're not agreeing just on like for rhetorically instead of actually keeping in mind like shit like the real world.
Right next to where you are, just enough so you can fit over it. But anyone bigger than you is doing too much. Also, the people around you, the people you came up with, the people that you admire.
I see a lot of my fellow content creator, fellow plus size, fellow bloggers, whatever you want to call them, plus size models, now talking about wanting to get healthy, now talking about needing to are getting this inkling that, you know, the idealizing of thinness is about to be more prominent, and they're all jumping ship.
You're such this woman. I hate this woman. This woman is the worst of them all. She sounds the nicest, but she is such a toxic asshole. Because she's talking about how everything's a grift. These women getting older and getting health problems because their age and their bodies are starting to deteriorate. Now they're just jumping ship back to the skinniness trend. Like, what are you, fucking stupid? This is the person who assumes that everybody is acting out of bad faith. I hate how obnoxious people like this are. Shut the fuck up. What are you talking about? These women are just like, damn, my health is not good. I should change that. That's all they're talking about.
They are losing weight left and right, swallowing their words, becoming mid-sized, whatever. And you're like, oh shit, I'm probably not going to be able to
your message is mid-sized.
Maintain the level of status that I'm at if things change unless I hop on board.
Yep,
and also, girl, you tried it because there's nothing in that video that is controversial to most people. The only people that you're punching down
it isn't. It's actually just a very normal take and you're crying about it
on are the people that have supported you from the beginning of your career. Otherwise, everyone else in the world agrees with you. The only thing that you've done as a very visible fat content creator is give non-fat people an excuse to dig their heels into this extremely non-nuanced opinion of fat people.
It's actually a pretty nuanced opinion, like honestly. And frankly, considering the backlash from fucking obnoxious overweight women. No offense, but like it was pretty brave in her own echo chamber, her own sphere. This was a pretty brave take, to be honest with you.
Feeling guilty because you, a fat person, has co-signed this bias. Your words directly inspired a miserable person to take a photo of my friend Jordan from ED Twitter and post a video about it, harassing them, and they felt better about it because of you.
Okay, well that sucks. That person's a bitch. So I don't know what to tell you. Like they're talking about the first girl who, yeah, that person was an asshole. Like that girl from like that showed the photo of that fat girl. Like, yeah, that person was a dickhead and she was just using that as an excuse to bully fat people. Yeah, this Gabrielle girl is not responsible for every fucking person that like is fatphobic. Like, you understand this, right? Like you're being stupid. You're just trying to do like a guilt by association. They shouldn't even associate with that person. They don't even have the same message. The girl's message was like, "Oh, fat people are cool. Like, you don't it's okay to be fat. Like, but like you want to focus on your health." That's all she was saying. The other girl was just like fucking shitting on and dunking on a fat girl. What do you want me to tell you?
This was stitched to your video.
And it's honestly mean to say that someone is beautiful and all this stuff when it's like we're literally lying to them.
So not to
like that woman's a dumb asshole too. What do you want me to tell you?
On Sydney right now because they do not seem like a very rational person. She responded to a comment that Jordan left on her video saying that maybe God is speaking through me, and I'm like, neither you nor Sydney are the second coming of Christ, delivering a message to fat people that
they would be a prophet.
We have not already heard before. You forget that fat people live outside of their phones. We live in the real world, where unsolicited advice is abundant. And
sure, that's a problem. Sure, it's still bad to be fat. Like, you still should try. Okay, it's okay to be fat. It's not ideal to be fat.
And the reminders that the world hates fat people are constant and extremely undiluted.
I'm starting to hate fat people, by the way.
And clear. But also, if you follow Jordan, it literally takes no time at all to see how much hate they receive on the
I'm starting to really hate fat people.
Daily. But because you, Sydney, saw them making a bag and saw that some people are actually kind human beings and people see the beauty in them and the value in them, you were like, we gotta squash this immediately. Miserable. And Gabriella, you were talking about this.
Oh my God, shut the fuck up. Why are you talking so much? How is this a TikTok?
It's not internalized fat phobia, but like, listen to yourself.
Don't let nobody else convince you that taking care of your health is fat phobia.
TikToks are too long nowadays.
And if somebody's telling you that, it's because they're miserable and they want you to die and stay fat like them.
They're miserable and they want you to die and stay fat like them. Does that sound like somebody who thinks it's okay to be fat? Does that sound like somebody who loves fat people?
No, it sounds like that face. It sounds like somebody who's saying that the fat cope has gone too far. That's all they're trying to say.
I will say that I understand where that I can understand where people are coming from by saying they think by Gabriella calling being fat trendy or cute, that she is kind of perpetuating that narrative that like fat people just existing online are promoting obesity. I don't think that's true. I never have thought that's true. So I do understand where people are thinking of, like, with that point. And I didn't go into the movement, like, thinking I wanted to become fat or bigger than I already was, because I already was fat. But I don't think many people do. I do think people go into the body positivity movement only for it to turn into the fat acceptance movement. But they're really
saying, like, the fat acceptance is fine. That's like the over acceptance. That's an issue.
For a place to, like, commiserate over body image issues. And then they just proceed to be fed, like, all these really, like, harmful narratives and, like, messages that they weren't looking for. That's what happened to me. And I'm sure she has seen people comment that she is promoting obesity. But the whole point of this is that she didn't let it stop her from coming to terms with the state of her health. And I don't have any hard stats, but I do think the amount of fat people has increased.
It's nearly tripled in the United States over the past 50 years. Wow, that's crazy.
I think that is a thing. That is happening. And I don't disagree that we shouldn't moralize.
Muscle Build super chatted $4.99. Papa Gut stepped back into the gym for one day and he's already fat phobic.
True. It's true. I'm already starting to hate fat people. I'm better. I'm stronger. I'm faster. Because I've been in the gym for 2 days. Okay.
Health, like, yeah, I just don't think health has any moral value to it. And as you said, like, she has been in these spaces, and she's now coming to terms with the fact that maybe some of the things people talk about in them aren't true and are hurting people.
True. But also, those spaces are probably very cramped. You know? A little smelly.
That's what I gathered. And yes, all of the medical conditions she's talking about aren't only exclusive to fat people, but they are more likely to happen in fat people. And she's only saying that, like, she feels like the movement, I think she's only saying that the reason she feels the movement has, like, gone too far is because now she's experiencing those negative, harmful side effects herself. And the other influencers that you talk about are losing weight because they've also had health scares. Like, watch any of their videos explaining why they're starting to lose weight, and it has to do with, like, their health and a scare that they had at the doctor. And I fell down the rabbit hole of the creator that, like, singled out Jordan and, like, called her, and, like, the TikTok that I showed you where she's like, this person's not beautiful. And I think she would have said those things regardless if Gabriella made this video or not. She has some interesting things. Anyways, with that one being done, I'm going to end on this TikTok from a doctor, kind of explaining what Gabriella was trying to say in medical terms. And this woman is a real doctor. I looked her up. Yes.
Whoa.
So to the younger girls, the younger generation, take care of your health. It's not fat
the rest of this video is 3 minutes long. These TikToks are too long.
phobic to take care of your health. It's not a joke. And I'm saying this out of love, not out of self-hate.
Hi, I trained as a bariatric surgeon and I'm board certified in obesity medicine. So what I want to say is you should go watch that video because it's full of really useful information. But in case you didn't know, there is a big space in between fat shaming, which is bad and should not be done, and providing accurate health information, which this creator is trying to do. So I wanted to just share this image, which shows some of the obesity-related health consequences that our bodies have. You can see here there's a lot of them, including pulmonary disease and things you probably already are aware of, like diabetes and high cholesterol, some things you might be less aware of, such as cancer. And so that's why, as a medical community, we talk about obesity as a disease. It's not a lifestyle choice. It's not a willpower issue. It is a disease.
It is. It is a choice, and it is a willpower issue. Like, I just want to be, like, explicitly clear. It's not an easy choice, and it can be very difficult to have the willpower to change. I'm not sitting here saying it's easy. It's not hard. It's hard to lose weight when you have a bad relationship with food. I'm there, bro. It's not easy. It is simple. Fucking eat less, fat ass, you know? But it's not easy. It's not easy when you come home and after a long day and you're stressed out. And what do? You go to your comfort food. Maybe you get a little bit of something. Or when you're having a really good day and you want to celebrate, what do? You get your comfort food. You get a little bit of something. Right? It's like different people have different outlets for their aggression. Some people will work out, which is probably a positive. It is a positive thing. Unless you take it too far. There's actually a thing called like workout bulimia or something like that. But that's like that's an outlier. You know, that's a good outlet for your aggression. Some people's outlet for aggression is smoking cigarettes. Not good for you. Eating food. Not good for you. Right? The additional part of the problem is that you can't just stop eating. You have to eat. Right? It's a little bit different from other addictions. It's not, but it is still, there's still willpower there. You have the control, you know, and you're going to fail, and that's okay. But like, you have to keep that in mind. Like, you are the only person who can change your weight. And if you give that up, if you give up that power, and say that you have it and you don't have it, you're not going to lose weight.
that has negative consequences on our health. And that's all that really matters from a medical perspective about it. And that's why often if your physician's talking to you, it's because they're talking about it with you as a disease and they're concerned for your health. Now, I know not everybody does this in the most sensitive or most thoughtful way.
I'm getting old. I got like nose hairs and ear hairs now. They hurt so bad. Like they tickle me. Oh, fuck.
But that's where they're trying to come from. Hope this helps.
I think that this whole response is very expected. So like not surprised that it happened at all. I don't know how to say it.
This is more entertaining.
But like all
than
of
the
their
girl,
reasonings
the
for being
talking.
angry at this video. I just think the reaction to this video on TikTok was really interesting because I do think that with some of the things that these people are saying, they're kind of proving the opposite side of their point right. If that makes sense. Like by saying that they experienced certain things to use as proof that this video was
it tickles. It makes me uncomfortable, bro. I'm sorry.
Wrong. They are proving the people who don't agree with fat acceptance right.
Stop being Stop being age phobic. Stop being ageist.
And that's like the overarching theme that I saw. And I do just think it's interesting that one person's experience can trigger just a whole group of people on the internet. And I guess that is just the state of the internet right now, but I just think that's fascinating. And I honestly feel really bad for Gabriella because the video has since been taken down. And I don't know if it was taken down by TikTok or Gabriella herself or whoever.
She probably took it down because she getting bullied.
But if it was by Gabriella herself, I feel really bad.
Don't worry, I wash my hands before I leave the house.
Because I feel like she was just shamed into taking it down, probably. And that makes me really sad. But overall, I think this was just a very interesting response, and I wanted to kind of respond to the responses. And yeah, let me know what you guys think of all of these responses down below in the comments. Thank you so much for watching. Be kind to yourself, be kind to others, drink your water, take your meds, and I will see you in the next one. Okay, bye.
All right, cool. Solid video. Give it a like. Yeah, I agree.
I want Papa Gut to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.